Welcome back to another explainer. I am so pumped for this one because today we are unlocking an absolute superpower in the tech world. We're talking about mastering the foundations of secure web databases and defensive SQL programming. Honestly, it's wild, but SQL injection is still one of the most common web vulnerabilities out there, despite being literally decades old. So if you're a beginner, a student, or maybe an aspiring freelancer looking to really accelerate your technical career and become an absolutely indispensable asset, well, you're in exactly the right place. Grab your notebook, get focused, and let's get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structured roadmap for building impenetrable backend architectures today. We'll start with the data treasure, move on to SQL, the drawbridge, look at deadly traps to avoid, cover building your database fortress, and finish up with your 4-week action plan. Section 1, the data treasure. So, in our hyper-connected digital economy, a client's data is arguably the single most valuable corporate asset they possess. Just think about the critical information modern web applications are holding. We're talking user profiles, financial transactions, access controls, highly proprietary company data, the whole shebang. And whether it's a multi-billion-dollar e-commerce platform or just a simple corporate blog, businesses are absolutely desperate for developers who can protect these vital assets. They don't just need people who can build flashy visual interfaces, they need engineers who can construct secure backend pathways to safeguard this information from devastating security breaches. Section 2, SQL, the drawbridge. So you might be wondering, how exactly do our applications reach that data treasure in the first place? Well, we use SQL, or Structured Query Language. You can kind of think of SQL as this universal drawbridge for relational database management systems like MySQL or Postgre. It's the highly structured bridge that safely passes instructions from the front-end web application server all the way down to the raw server hard drives. So every time a user interacts with a website, like, say, inputting credentials into a login portal or running a catalog search, the back-end server takes that dynamic input and generates a query that literally has to cross this drawbridge. Let's move to ANSI and see how this builds a truly secure ecosystem. Any dynamic user input crossing that drawbridge must survive a really rigorous 3-step execution sequence. Step 1 is input sanitization and typing. This is where the backend screens strings and actively forces data types, like making absolutely sure a user ID is strictly parsed as an integer. Step 2 is structural separation. Here, the database parser splits compilation logic completely apart from the literal variable text, preventing those user inputs from rewriting execution structures. And step 3 is isolated fetching, meaning the database engine only ever outputs the precise fields allowed by the application's predefined permission schema. Section 3. Deadly traps to avoid. Okay, now that we understand how the drawbridge operates, we really need to talk about the structural software flaws